Hey y'all, it's your girl Alex, hopping on with our weekly chat, check in, all the things going on. Really wanting to just tap in with y'all, check in with y'all mostly, and just really come together because there's a lot of stuff going on, and just a lot of really great, positive, moving forward, forward thinking things, and really just wanted to hop on, connect with y'all because it's been super erratic here, at least lately, which good things are changing, but it's always busy, right? Super duper busy. And, let me know in the chat, how are you guys doing? How are y'all holding up? How are you all feeling like energetically? Because that is one of the things I have been like noticing here. I'm just like really getting hit hard with just a lot of different like energies. Even my daughter's super tired, and it's just been a lot. How are y'all doing? Let me know because it's just it's all good. If you haven't been hopping on to our last 2 nights, we've been doing meditations, and really the what was it 2 nights ago was like the rainbow energy, and then last night was the root chakra. Tonight will be the sacral, and really what we're doing is we're going through, because we have that full moon, that blood moon here next week. And so really it's just like all of these different energies, because there's so much transformation, like humanity, and y'all are probably feeling it. I know I'm feeling it. Just all these changes physically, no matter where you're at in your journey, there seems to a lot of people really seem to be getting the symptoms this time. And there is big things going on. There's so many wins that are happening. There are so many like super positive just events in the AZ audit, and just all of these really amazing things that are happening. But we're far from out of the woods yet. Like, we're not done. We have a lot of work to do. And so I see just so many people not only waking up, but realizing just like the level we've been conned, the level we've been deceived, and how like ingrained it was in society that these things were there, and it was just always in our face. And that just was always normal, if you will. And like, that's just how deep this goes. And so there's so many people that are waking up to this process, to what's actually going on. And it's so beautiful. And really, I want to challenge y'all too. Like, even if someone who may have differing views, regardless of what it is, right? To just love on them and send them those love bubbles, send them that loving, positive energy, because y'all, that's super important. Because they just, look at what you were brought up, and look at how, just thinking about my own experiences and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I totally can see that. If you would have told me like 10 years ago, I was still active duty, like, super just like on my shit. And I would have laughed at you. I would have been like, you're crazy. Are you like, do we need to take you to like get checked out or something? Like, genuinely concerned about you. Because it's just like, I would have never believed you. I would have never believed anyone. So what is this, 2021? So that's 2011. I know exactly where I was in 2011. And yeah, wouldn't have believed you. And honestly, only through love would, because it's like, it's whatever you persist, right? Whatever you're seeking, it will always have that resisting energy to you. So if you're trying to say, hey, this is the truth, please believe me, I'm trying to help you, right? People are going to be like, no, that's just the laws of it. But if you just hold space, and it's just like, I want to seek that divine truth, that divine guidance, that divine just pure energy of what that perception of these events are, and just holding space for that, like, you will find your eyes opening. They will start finding, like, just putting that energy out, holding that space for each other, and really just connecting, even if it's in a non-direct way. Really holding that space is so vital to shifting this, because just holding that energy and just seeking with that pure intent, it is so powerful, y'all. And you don't have to be like this super skilled person. Literally sitting there, standing, sitting, whatever you're comfortable with, and really just holding space, sitting with, like, allowing yourself to conceptualize whatever the divine truth of whatever it is you're thinking about, and just really just sitting with it, And if you feel yourself judging, just say, hey, this isn't a place we're going to judge. This is all in your head. This isn't a place where we're going to judge. We're just going to sit here with this. And that's literally all you do, is physically sit with it. And the thing is, because we're not running from it, we're not hiding, we're not anything. We're just physically honoring that it exists. It has space in this world, and here it is. What are we going to do with it? You know, kind of a thing. And when you can start approaching things and hitting that level of neutrality, resolutions, opportunities, solutions, they just start coming your way. They just start finding themselves to you, because now they have a more clear outlet to come into and intercede, or whatever the situation is, right? It's always different. You know, everything's going to be different through all of our lives. But you're giving these opportunities, these channels, an opportunity to be able to connect and flow, that energy flow to these things. And, you know, there's been so much conversation about death, and, you know, what do we do if people we know have been like jabbed, and how do we tell people? And it's like, you know, I can only do my best to educate people. Oh, speaking of education, so if y'all are interested too, like, because there's a lot of people I've been talking with that are just like, I don't understand how to explain what it is I'm feeling, but I see there's something off. I don't really understand it. Am I the only one? And I felt like that too. And that's what led me to start digging. And I started finding out that I wasn't the only one, and that there's so many other people who felt just like me, and were, because of that concern or that fear or whatever, however it manifested, they were like, I don't really want to speak out because I'm a little too scared to, because of the magnitude, the perceived magnitude, rather, the perception that this is really big. It's not, but that's one of their tricks, right? And it's just, when we can start tapping into being able to hold just even that neutral place, the ability to tap into just all of these different things, like, they just start finding you. They just start coming to you. And it's so beautiful. How are y'all doing? Let me know in the chat how you guys are holding up with everything going on. There's been supposedly some reports in, I don't know if we're going to get censored for this, but whatever, it's my channels. I'll just create new ones. Wuhan, China, how they're having these massive storms, apparently. And I was wondering too, I was like, you know, I wonder if this is that 10-day of darkness, because from the storms, the way I can see them they're just like really intense thunderstorms, which that seems to be, that's happening here. We are actively having like massive thunderstorms, and it's been just like insane. And that seems to be happening all over the world. Like, a lot of places this is happening. So that was a little weird data point, but supposedly Wuhan is going basically dark, and all of these things, really awful storms and flooding, lots of flooding, which I don't know if y'all have followed her, JCK. I followed her. She did, or I follow her, obviously. She did, what was it? She had a conversation with the trees 4 weeks ago, and she was talking, and she had done a dowsing off of it, or from that conversation, and basically they were talking about floods and just a lot of different things. And if you follow the Sending Ravens by Janine, she did a reading about how will we know when like things are really kicking off, and it was talking about floods, and both of them were talking about floods and mud floods and all of these things. And it was just really interesting, because both of them have been super accurate. I've been, about the last 6 months or so, I followed both of them, and they're both very accurate. And I've gone in on my own stuff and confirmed in my own end, just like with predominantly with Michael, just asking him questions. And so getting confirmations on my end that there's a lot of this is coming. And that's why I know Michael's been really pressing on my heart too. Just like, he's the one who told me about to do the meditations that we're doing right now in that preparation for that full moon, because we're going through each chakra. Then we're going to end. We started with like that rainbow energy going through each chakra, all 7, and then on the end, so a total of 9, having that beautiful kind of creation number associated with this. That 9th day we come back, it's going to be for the full moon. It'll be the night before. It's like, I think 6:30. I keep forgetting to actually look up the time, but in the morning on the 26th here in the United States on Eastern Standard Time, I think that is. So it's like 5:30 my time. And so that'll be it. And if you want to get up early and do it at that time, or whatever time it is that you're, you know, hitting the full moon for you, by all means, because that'll just add to that collective energy, just how everything's all interconnected. And so just these transformations, right? We just had Scorpio in the full moon, and that was really about bringing up to surface all of the things, right? And so that's why we're hitting through all of our chakras, because it's like these are all of our base centers. I was talking about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and if you look at it, because it's a triangle, right? That foundation that we need, obviously, is our safety, our security, our food, our survival things, right? Our food, our shelter, water, and of course the ability to like reproduce, and like that's got to do with some other stuff, but that is part of it as well. Not so much in the psychology aspect of it though, but so we're starting on our foundations. And so if you're looking at your chakras, your first three, so you got your root, your sacral, and your solar plexus, they all deal with your safety, security, your confidence in your being, and your ability to have the positive mindset, right? So going into these different things of what we need to be able to have our soul living in its full purposes, those base core needs. And so that's why we're going through that, to really channel those. So then by the time we hit our heart space, our throat, our third eye, and our crown, we're really starting to activate even more. Like we should be feeling like last night, I was literally like vibrating my being. I was just like, I felt like I was like, bzzz, like that's literally how I felt. And it's so cool having just this like level of physical energy, being able to tie into everything, because that is literally how all of this works. It's all energetically connected, and excuse me, it's just, yeah, it's so big. And I'm always in awe of it, and just always in awe of just like the magnitude. And then I know here, as of May 21st, so in 2 days, everything that every business basically in the state of Texas is no more muzzle mandate, which is amazing, because except for schools, they said can last until June 4th, and then that has to be ended. So that's amazing, because that was one of my biggest concerns about the whole going back, and then the flu season, like what if that comes up and you guys are saying it's the C19 or some variation or whatever, and that's your reason to impose that, because it's for those mitigation measures. And so it's just, it's always insane to me how, and I say this with so much love too, but it blows my mind, like when people are able to just start rolling over and like they see how big some of this is. And so if you guys are losing people, whether it be just like the person is still living, or maybe they're dying from some of their choices, or from taking like the little pookie thing or any of that stuff, right? One of the big things I really want y'all to hold on to is the fact that their soul itself doesn't die. It's just their flesh suit, but their soul generally will either stay here, or even if it reincarnates in another location, or it goes to a different dimension, like you can tap into that energy. And I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like everything is so energy, like each and every one of us has our own energetic signature. And so when we're able to start tapping into all of these different things, we can still tap into them. So if they do pass over, I want you to realize that their souls come here with these contracts. We all come here with our contracts. So that's another thing. Like if we go, like there's a reason, if it's not my time, like I'm not going to go, kind of a thing. And that is one of the coolest things I think about all of this, is I don't ever worry about someone like being gone for like good, because no matter where they're at, I can always call on to them, really tap into them and just seek them, right? And so just however this comes up, whatever comes up through these meditations for you, because if you're not journaling, I highly recommend you're journaling during this time, because I really want y'all to be able to take advantage of the things that come up, because when they come up, they may be scary or challenging to face, but I want to encourage you to do so simply because it will help you tap into just all of these things that need to be healed. Like, we have to hold space and we have to confront whatever issues, negative aspects. Like, we all have our own issues, even if it's a distraction, even if it's just like and that's what happens to me, honestly, a lot. It used to, before I started tuning into it, was it would just be weird things popping up, whether it's the kids or something, as I'm like getting ready to, or I just started doing something my higher self is calling me to do. And it'll pull me away for like the entire time I had dedicated. And it was always to that just amount of time too, which is another thing that like really cued me into something's not right. There's a lot of precision in like the time that these things happen. And so, really challenging yourself to do that, because it's going to take work to make these changes. It's going to take work to go forward. It's going to take work to really just put in all of this stuff. And so, or put in the effort to make these things happen. But I promise y'all, it is on the other side. And if you're wondering too, like what exactly like psychological terms there are, I did write 2 papers, because this summer we are going to be doing a lot of filming. I have some stuff that it's not meant to like treat anything. So if you're like really having a mental health crisis, do seek like serious medical attention. This isn't meant for anything crazy like that. But what it is meant to do is to bring like small community groups, like 5 to 10 people together, to do these exercises with each other, to really build that community, that love, that just basically finding people who are similar and and just connecting again, and really doing it in a collective processing way of just different things that have gone on. And it's I'm going to start crying. The healing that is coming, y'all. If you look, I think I put it in the description. Oh, those papers, both of those papers, they are in the description. So they're kind of researchy, but they're not like terribly dry. But just so bear that in mind. But there's all of the resources are in there. Like, I have interviews, I have testimony as well. I have research articles. Like, I have so much information. Please go dig into both of them, really, because there's just a lot of things that are happening and people don't have the words. They just know that there's a feeling is off, something's just not right. I want to give people the words, and then start giving people this just like framework and understanding. So then come summertime, we can really start implementing like these small groups, really helping people connect with each other again, because that's going to be so vital in actually making this work. Because you realize when someone, it's called type 2 complex trauma, but when someone is repeatedly traumatized, it's like grooming. You can think of it as that too. A lot of the research I did, it was based off ritual abuse, RA, or SRA, satanic ritual abuse. Like, that's a thing that is, there's frameworks of dealing with therapeutic modalities to help those victims. Like, so like any people who, may have said like, oh, that stuff doesn't happen. Well, there's literally literature that talks about how to treat these victims in a mental health setting. And, it's mind blowing. And I mean, this stuff goes back into like the 70s that they were starting these frameworks of these victims. And I mean, like, the numbers were super high too for the longest time. The numbers have dwindled, but they're not zero. And so like, it's just, all of these things just always blow my mind, because it's all there. It's all, the evidence is in front of our faces, right? They have to show it to us first to get our consent to be able to continue it. And what sucks is, it's like, if anyone's been in the military, I know they know this, where it's like the whole group gets punished for the one kind of a thing. And it's awful. It's awful. I don't think it's very successful personally, but it's all right. What? Yeah, keep going. Homeschooling. This is what we're doing, but they're doing good. See, that was one of my challenges. Yeah, you still have time. And so, here again, different things like putting your foot down. But thank God Abbott put out that basically removed all of the muzzle mandates starting the 21st of May. And so it sucks that we're here, but that was one of my arguments too, was like, basically the unmuzzled and unjabbed people are going to have to basically become a protected class. And that's one of the biggest things is, and that's also in my papers too. Like, I I break down the medical side of things too, from just different studies and everything I've read, and how it all impacts each other. Like, there is significant damage that is coming from this, because people are like, oh, it's not a big deal, it doesn't harm anybody. I'm like, well, actually it does. Let me show you what I'm talking about, because these are really important topics that is having a long lasting impact on our children. You think about, there's a lot of studies that show, what happens in an individual's childhood from birth, until like full grown. So roughly in the early to mid 20s, that person's body, those settings and those schemas is what they're called as well. So it could be physical and emotional settings that occur in childhood. They really set the stage for the adulthood. And so if you're having repeated back, like, there's been so many cases of strep this last year, or sore throats, which my son, that's what cued me off something that they were making them sick. Because I was just like, well, it's not hurting anybody. I just, my kid did need to be in, both my kids needed to be in school. Hey, I get it. But then the fact that his sore throat finally stopped over Christmas break, I was like, because the sore throat I could never figure out. That was, the other stuff, the stomach aches, the nausea, the headaches. I was like, that is a sign of stress in children. And, C19. I could see that. And it's insane though that people, and this goes back to that lack of knowledge, lack of understanding, lack of knowing, and why it's so vital. We come and we love with boundaries, healthy boundaries, always a must, but we love or send love bubbles to them, because putting in that loving energy is so vital, y'all, because people just don't understand. And we're really dismantling with our, just our energy, and our putting out that presence for just acting upon and interceding on these people's behalf. But we're loving on them so that they can start processing all of this. And that's kind of where, like, the group stuff, all of it came into just play, where it's just like, I see such a need. Because the problem is, going back to what I was saying before with the type 2 trauma, the problem is, if you've been groomed or you've had some sort of systemic anything, right, negative adverse things that have just continually built, you are going to fall into a easier to manipulate ability. Think of the different color revolutions, right? What happened? It started with like the different voting stuff, and how it's starting to come into the system, and how it's all changed, and all the policies. Oh my gosh. Like, I was listening even just last night, I'm like, our country hasn't been this bad in literally, I don't even know how long. Yeah, Obama really had just messed it up, but man, it's really giving us contrast, right? Which is part of what I think, obviously things had to happen the way they were, but the contrast was absolutely needed. And, you think about what Mr. T did in those basically 3 years. And with all of the things what he did in that time, still nonetheless, like, imagine if none of like the fake news and all of that stuff, imagine if it didn't exist, what he could have done. And I'm just like, and it woke a lot of people up into realizing exactly what was going on. We weren't these frogs sitting in that hot water anymore, or that's now turning to boil and we're dead before we realize it. No, we're waking up. And what's so beautiful is just the amount of collective energy. Seriously, the couple days ago, I was sent a video of, in the UK, they were doing a mask, muzzle-free, basically like parade and stuff. And they had the "Where we go one, we go all" flag with like their nation's flag up top. And like, they were like holding American flags. Like, I have seen so many videos of other countries having parades, holding, like, I'm going to start crying, holding the American flag, and like singing the national anthem, the American national anthem, because like, they're rooting for us, just like we need to be rooting for ourselves and really putting into this work. Because I don't see this with arrogance. I see this just like, this is just genuinely how I feel. I feel like America is the last beacon of hope. I say that because I really do believe we are, because so many people are watching our country. So many people are watching what's happening. And I thank God people are waking up. They're like, something just doesn't seem right. No, baby, you're right. Something isn't right. And let me show you exactly how they did this, because these things are really important. Because I also go into the different breakdowns, which I have resources. There's literally journals written about these different programs that they've been literally researching. It's insane, but they have it, and out in the open. out in the open. And it's just jaw dropping, the research they've been doing, how long they've been planning this, how, Mr. T was never supposed to be, he was never supposed to get in. And enough people woke up to who Hillary is. And yes, that's with a K, not an H, because she's just an awful person. Like, I hope she's hung because she's just an awful person. I wish there was like a way to like trap that soul. You know what I mean? Because yeah, like killing the meat suit, that's, final in the moment. But that is one of the things I have been contemplating. I'm curious if anybody knows. And how to basically like trap the soul, which I totally could see that being used for a bad thing as well. But because it's just like, you look at, like, I think of like Hitler. I absolutely believe his spirit is on earth right now and actively working out a lot of stuff. I've been feeling that for a while, and I know other people have talked about that too. And it's just like, how do we stop these souls basically from reincarnating into our earth plane so that we can like stop these people altogether? Because it's just one of those things that it's just, how do we get to the root of it? How do we get to the root of everything that's been going on, and how we can start altering this, because it's so vital that we do, right? Oh man, what is going on, y'all? How are you guys doing today? Was this Wednesday? If you guys didn't hear at the beginning, we have a bunch of meditations going on at night right now, really prepping into this, like that full moon, just this transformative energy. And, hop on with us. All this stuff is in the description. The papers are in the description. And in my papers too, they have multiple interviews where some of it's testimony, some of it's interviews, tons of literature and research journals that show everything that I'm talking about from the muzzles. Really, I have an inkling that between the muzzles, like with knowing what they do to the body and how they impact it mixed with that cold, like I can absolutely see how some of these numbers were even exacerbated from what they should have been had the people just been breathing normal air and just living life normally. Because you look at the decrease in oxygen to the body and how that affects the physical tissue of the body and what it causes. Cardiovascular disease is the hypoxia, is what happens in the tissues, because your body's not getting enough oxygen because you're being muzzled and you're not getting enough fresh air. Well, that hypoxia causes multiple different types of cancer, cardiovascular disease, heart attacks, strokes, all of that. And that was one of the big things too. So you're adding in all of these compounding factors, and it's all there. It's all, the research is there for anyone to be able to just tap right into it. And it's amazing. And Tampa Bay, Florida. Oh, there's a Health and Freedom conference coming in June. I don't know if you're stationed out there, but if you are, Tampa Bay, Florida, I want to say it is June 16th. I wanted to go. Someone I know who lives in Florida, I sent her the info. But yeah, if you guys are out there, I would love to go. It's been amazing. And see, this is what I'm talking about, really putting in that effort, going to these things, going to these events, starting to get involved. Really, y'all, literally, if every single adult gets involved in something in our community, school boards, local elections, different laws relating, or, working with the representatives in your area, whatever it is, doesn't matter. All of us did one thing, all of us adults, we would be truly able to impact our communities, because this is how all of these, I'll say extremists, because there's some extremists on both sides, but the extremists, how they've gotten to this, where they're really able to get to the root of it. And that's what's up. I am so jealous. I want to go to that. You have fun, my friend. I am pumped for you. You're going to have to tell me. Take some videos too about it, because I was watching some from the Tulsa one, and it's amazing. I'm so pumped, because that's a part of what we were trying to do too, is like where I didn't put the information in the description. We started a nonprofit where it's like the healthy design. It's literally creating a design that is where you're able to live just like a sovereign, patriotic life. And that can be anywhere in the world. It doesn't have to be American, but you're having just this sovereign being over yourself, which is why I know Michael has been telling me with like the garden and stuff. I was showing y'all what he showed me the other day, a couple days ago. I don't remember what it was, but literally he was like, boom, do this, and showed me what it's supposed to look like. And I was like, all right. So I built it. And he's like, okay, now make a video, do another one and show people, because like we need to start showing, giving a visual to people of what they can do and how to start doing it, even if their end product, and like get creative with it. Even if your end product looks different than what mine started out as, the fact is like we need to start becoming more sustainable in our own actual food resources, because there's a lot of like really shady stuff going on the down low with, the farmers, their properties and stuff, the laws and restrictions that is being put on them, and some people purchasing up a bunch of land, especially here on the Texas border. There's tons of the farms. They're being so, like, literally, it is heartbreaking what is going on there. People are having their homes and everything broken into and raided and stuff, who live on the border, and they call the police and they literally come and don't do anything. There was videos I was watching where they were literally filming the police, and they were just like, you're not doing anything. And it's heartbreaking. And the problem is, who's buying the lands, letting them, basically buy out at a couple $1 million. I don't know if I'm going to go censored China, all of them, right? All of those people, not just China, but Gates and all of them, they're all buying up this land, and it's a lot of land. And it's terrifying because it's just piece by piece, right? Community by community, how it starts small and they just keep building away. It's literally what I talk to my clients about. That's one of the core foundations we work on, bit by bit, every single day, small, tangible things to make your full life changes of whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. But it's literally small, systematic steps, right? Because now all of a sudden you're all the way up here, and like, look how easy that was. It was so much easier than trying to like jump all the way, right? This is how they do it. This is how we do it too, right? Take a page out of their playbook and do it again, and replicate it ourselves. Sharn, is the YouTube acting up to where it's like freezing and not coming back on? You may not be able to answer this, because there's been a full-on assault too, y'all. If you're not on our Telegram channel, I put it in the description. I've been on there too, because Telegram seems to be really awesome in the sense that it's not going to shut you off. I've been doing videos and stuff on there. That's kind of where I was, honestly, for the last like 3 weeks or so, for the most part, just because of with finals and like the storm and all kinds of stuff really just whooping my ass, honestly. But yeah, I wonder if, because that's definitely something that we've been, and I have all my stuff backed up, so I'm been thinking about just downloading things into various things. But there's been so much censorship and like trying to figure out. So I know Telegram, thankfully, seems to be pretty good. So we've been kind of hanging out there. But y'all, I definitely am feeling urged to pray. What was it? It was beautiful last night, man. There was a lot of protection. And so I definitely feel like that's something we need to do daily. Make sure you're waking up daily and then just like, you can do a meditation, 5-minute meditation, journaling, something. That is what I have been hounded with, is wake up before everyone else and get to where you are really setting your intention for the day. Even 5 minutes, that's it, right? Set the intention, put forward that prayers of protection, just really going into this, because there's a lot of that spiritual battle going on right now too. There's a lot of attacks happening, and really just being, and I don't say that to scare anybody. I say that because when we know thy enemy, we can defeat thy enemy. And when we have the armor of God, we are unstoppable. But we need to know how to use it and wear it, right? We need to know what to do with it. We can't just wear it and be like, all right, what do we do now? It's not how this goes. But for real, y'all, it's so important. We need to be actively doing that. So I'm going to pray for all of us. But if you guys jump on tonight, the links are in the description, and you don't see it in the description. Hang on. I'm going to put it in the chat. So they're saying that they don't see the link in the description, so I may not have done it. I'm going to throw it in the chat real fast. And then I'm going to put it. So regardless of where you're watching at, I just posted it. Oh, gosh. Oh, it's there? Okay, cool. Well, anyways, threw it in the chat, so you've got it there too. But yeah, it's just t.me, Awaken to the Matrix. Hop on there. We're like posting all kinds of stuff. I mean, I have like, what do you call it? Testimony. Senators. There was senators yesterday. I believe they were in DC. Yeah, because they're mentioning what state they're from. So they're in DC and literally telling them like all of the different things. They're like, this is an urgent crisis. And like, I'm like, yes, it is an urgent crisis. There's a lot of bad things going on right now that we need to stop. And so, I mean, it was really refreshing to see, senator or representatives out there, saying, hey, this is a big issue and bringing stats and stuff. But we got to make sure we're doing it on our end too, y'all. We got to make sure that we are really engaging in our local levels. Is how we do it. And that's one of the things that I see, just like this mass healing that is coming. It is amazing. And if you haven't seen that, it's called White Hats Win. And that should be in the description too. And it's just, that's my vision. That one of the ones that I got that was about what was coming, and it's amazing what's on the other side. And I am like so excited because it's like I'm finally seeing everything happen, and I'm like, yeah, let's go. Like, been waiting for this because this pretty much sucks. Like, so there is a lot of stuff. So Sharon says she thinks she's under attack. Let me know if anyone else is under attack too, because I know I am. And that's also why I've been saying I start my days with those prayers of protection. Because even though like I'm doing it, like I start feeling it, and it's just like a lot of really chaotic stuff. So definitely we're going to pray for you, Sharon, because it's all right. There's a lot of things going on. Father God, I thank you so much for being with us here today, for being able to connect us, to guide us, to bring us together in this unity, this patriotic ability to step together and to know that we're not alone, where we're able to find our brothers and sisters, where we're able to come together and able to seek each other and just really come together in this community. We've built this beautiful bond and loving energy with literally no demographic bounds, that we are still able to connect with one another and reach to each other and be able to minister and love on each other and really encourage each other to, stand up and be able to step forth into our sovereign being, to be able to enact that beautiful power that we all have as our God-given divine authority to be sovereign beings and able to act upon ourselves and not be coerced or told what to do by some negative authority who has taken our consent without even us understanding what they did. And as people will awake, to be able to give all of us that a power to and equipment to love on one another, to be able to pull the people who are maybe frustrated or even scared as they express anger and discontent through, really when it comes back to it, is they're terrified to face the reality of the things that they're conceptualizing, the magnitude, and they're like, oh no, that's too big. But with you, God, nothing is too big. And I pray that you give every single one of us the words, the equipment, the tools, the knowledge, whatever it is that we need to be able to step forward and help minister love and usher in these people as they start to awaken into them and they break the matrix of what their perception of reality is, and being able to see everything that they have from before they've been born, everything that they've been shown to be normal, to be, considered the way that things are. And it's just this gradual increase as they slowly overtook humanity, really digging into our whole perceived world, being able to show us and guide us into that new balance of everything, finding that eternal peace where we all vibrate higher together as humanity, where we are able to pull just that energetic field and just literally have a lighter being to our physical presence as we as humanity ascends into a higher dimension, and just really being able to pull into just this high vibe mentality and physicality. I thank you so much for this protection that you're placing upon us. And I call in 400,000 angels and guides and guardians and everything of the light and the highest dimensional beings to come down and protect every single person who is listening to this, either directly or indirectly, and being able to have access to anything of this power and this magnitude, where they are divinely protected with these little light bubbles around them and their home and their family and everywhere that they go, that they are divinely protected, to be able to feel confident and emboldened to step forward and to speak the divine truth to all of the naysayers or those who may even poke fun at them for thinking and believing the things that they say and they do, but that they continue to pray and love and just keep moving forward to where they are able to help start changing the energy in that, but divinely protected as they go forward, divinely protected in every conversation that they have. I thank you so much for the beautiful blessings and the powers and everything that you're showing me. Oh, they're like showing me like we're just like these this web of just these like lightning rods. I see it like all over the world, just like lit up. That is super cool. Oh, that is amazing. I just feel like this buzzing energy like around the world too. That is amazing. See y'all, this is how we do it. Oh my gosh, this is cool. Ah, thank you. Thank you for this confirmation. That is so beautiful. Ah, I love this. Ah, thank you for everything in your precious son's name. Oh, thank you. Amen. Oh, yes. Oh, man. Oh, and Sean, just to really go before all of the people who are under an attack, to be able to give them the skills, the words, the knowledge, the confidence to be able to stand forth against whatever negative energies that are trying to lay anything negative or anything that is not of the highest good and the highest power for themselves and their higher selves, to where anything that is not of that, that it be gone and rid it of their lives, no matter where it is, no matter where they are physically located. If there is anything of the dark that is trying to harm them or cause any kind of negativity in their lives, that it be gone now, as it is not welcome here, and that it must flee and leave, as it was not invited, nor does any one of us consent to have it here. You must leave. I pray that you have that beautiful protection. Archangel Michael, put that protection over Sharon and everyone else that is listening, that is under these different attacks. Just lift them up, re-energize their soul, and give them into that freedom. So tonight when they go to sleep, their whole body is regenerated and just fully waking up tomorrow, fully regenerized and ready to go. That any negativity or weight is just decreased from their bodies. It is removed from their shoulders and it is broken. Any chains are broken and every barrier is destroyed. Everything that is trying to keep anyone who's under attack down. I thank you for your divine guidance and your protection. In your precious son's name, amen. Oh, man. Y'all, I love y'all so much. We have so much power. Seriously, we do. It is amazing how powerful. I see it all the time. They'll just give me visions, and I'm just like seeing like mass people, and I'm just like, yes, this is the coolest thing ever. And I think once people really start to wake up and realize how powerful we are, they're just like, oh, okay, we can do this. We can step forward. We can have this take back, y'all, and yes, we can. I love you guys so much. I pray this is encouraging to you, because God wins this, y'all. We've got to continue to just keep moving forward, keep pressing on. We win this. I promise you that. I love y'all.